even if it's your last one. Always share the softness of Kleenex tissues. And share your Kleenex Care story at KleenexCare.com.
Discover Card?
Is this line secure?
Very secure.
Good. I received a text communique from Discover Card HQ.
Yeah, at Discover, we monitor every single purchase every single day and alert you by text, email, or phone if anything looks suspicious.
Sounds very secure.
It is. And you're never responsible for unauthorized purchases on your card.
Nice. Security's my middle name.
Really? I'll make a note of it.
Hey, kid! Out of the massage chair. What do you know about stress? You're 7.
At Discover, we treat you like you'd treat you. Serious about security. Get the IT card at Discover.com.
When he first joined the Army, I was very nervous.
We didn't know what they would have him doing. But Bobby always had a plan.
With unmatched training in over 150 careers beyond the battlefield, there are over 150 surprising ways to become Army strong. Talk to your son or daughter about opportunities in the Army.
Tomorrow night, a Weather Channel special investigation. There's something happening in South Texas.
It was like hell out there.
That can't fully be explained by the weather.
These are mass graves.
The Real Death Valley. Special time, 9 p.m. tomorrow on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 72 degrees under fair skies. Tonight, mainly clear skies. Low 61. Winds west-northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tuesday, generally sunny. High 80. Winds west-northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Tuesday night, a few clouds from time to time. Low 62. Winds northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Wildest weather ever caught on camera. Oh my God! Tonight, tomorrow night, every weeknight, wild weather at 8 on the Weather Channel.
Well, welcome back to Weather Center Live. We are Winter Storm Central, covering the first-name winter storm of the year, Winter Storm Astro.
And it has several states looking and feeling like the dead of winter with blustery winds, several inches of snow, and downright frigid temperatures. In fact, Minneapolis, we hate to tell you this, but you may not get above freezing for nearly 2 weeks.
Well, let's start with all the snowy details. Mike Seidel is live right now in Forest Lake, Minnesota. And Mike, again, how are people dealing with not just the snow, but the forecast for a lot of cold air for weeks to come?
Well, certainly they're thinking about last winter, because the biggest complaint by far last winter, hearing that even today and over the weekend, was how cold it was and for how long. You know, it's supposed to be cold up here in the winter, but it was so below average. February alone was down over 12 degrees, and then you have November, or you had December, January and March were down between 7 and 7.5 degrees. So very cold weather, and that's what really got to the locals here. So now we're going into mid-November, mid to late November to Thanksgiving, and we could be below freezing for 2 weeks, and it's all relative because the average right now is in the mid-40s. Let me show you some video from earlier today. We were snowing and blowing. It was a good storm this morning out here in the suburbs. The airport only picked up about 3 inches. Up here we've had 9, and look at the snow, the plows out here. Temperatures mid-20s. It's a dry, powdery snow. North of here, up in Cambridge, they had 16.5 inches of snow. The advisories for here down towards Minneapolis, St. Paul, the warnings north and northeast of here, all set to expire tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. I did some digging. St. Cloud, that's up 94. They're about an hour or so northwest of Minneapolis, St. Paul. Their record snowfall for today was a couple of inches. They did 9 to 10 inches. So I'm thinking, how bad is that? Well, local meteorologists saying that's one of the bigger storms, the biggest storm they've had in November in 11 years. But I look back in 1940 in St. Paul, in St. Cloud in 1940, they had a blizzard on Armistice Day, Veterans Day, November 11th. Over 16 inches of snow fell. But get this, The snow stayed on the ground. They had more snow, but they didn't see the grass for 144 days. You do the math, that's all the way to about the 1st of April. So the question is, will we see the bare ground again before, say, next March? We don't know, but we can tell you, you're not going to see it in the next couple weeks because we're not going to have any above freezing temperatures. In fact, by the weekend and early next week, our lows are going to be at down or maybe even below 0. And Kelly, our highs next week, 15, 16 degrees. That's colder than it should be in the middle of the winter. So they're wondering, is it going to be a repeat? We'll have to just wait and see. Back to you.
Wow, that is one crazy statistic. I mean, snow from about Veterans Day all the way to the 1st of April. Snow on the ground, that is. All right, thanks so much, Mike. And here's a recap of what we know so far from the areas being impacted by Winter Storm Astro right now. In Montana and the Dakotas, Astro started the day with gusty winds and frigid temperatures, upwards of ½ foot of snow. Minnesota State Police say they've gotten reports of hundreds of vehicles involved in crashes and that slippery conditions are keeping their troopers busy. Wisconsin DOT officials are urging drivers there to be careful as well, with snow accumulating on some highways. Northern parts of Wisconsin could see upwards of 1.5 feet. We want to get expert analysis from meteorologist Chris Warren and our storm specialist Carl Parker joining me now from the lab with more on this crazy storm. It's unbelievable what Mike just said, you guys. I mean, can you imagine not being able to see the ground until April 1st?
No, but you know, oftentimes it happens. You get snow, and then the cold air masses stay a little colder, and so it's sort of self-reinforcing in that sense.
And that is your ground.
That is your ground.
That is your ground now.
And there are orange golf balls.
There are orange golf balls will come in handy. Now, something that is neat, something that's white on the map, is the visible satellite. Yeah. And we use a dark map, which really makes features stand out, clouds, and sometimes other objects, other things showing.
Exactly. And the visible satellite is a series of photographs that are taken by a geosynchronous satellite. So it's right over top of the U.S. and stays in place and takes these pictures. And when the sun comes up, we get a whole series of them, and we run them past another to make this movie, and we get a real good sense of what's going on here. Now, there is a mid-level flow that's driving this way, but there is a low-level flow, and you can see that in the cloud elements coming down like that. That is the Arctic front. But what was really interesting is this afternoon, right as winds were gusting up to 61 miles per hour in Pueblo, we were getting dust being blown about, and a lot of stations reporting that, and it's right in there. It's very faint, but you can see those streaks there. That is an aboob. That's a dust storm. Dust storm. That's a dust storm that was blown about by those 60+ mile per hour winds.
As seen from space.
As seen from space. So what does that look like from the ground? Well, this was taken by the folks at the National Weather Service office in Pueblo, and there's the leading edge of the dust right there moving in. So that was right as the Arctic front was coming in and those winds were kicking up. It's not a big surprise that the winds get much stronger because there's a big difference in temperature and pressure, and when there's a big difference in pressure, that's when the winds really start going. The atmosphere wants to try to equal things out. This was a great photograph from earlier. This was also submitted by the Pueblo office there, and this is from Pikes Peak. So this is at 10,000 feet, and it's clear at 10,000 feet, but look at all the cloud there getting up to about 3,500 feet. So right as that cold air is coming in a very shallow layer, we're getting clouds developing over top of that, and at that point it was probably actually colder in the lower elevations than it was in the higher elevations where you're still getting sunshine.
And what's cool about the west with the mountains, you can get above the clouds sometimes.
You can get above the clouds. Yeah. That is very cool about the west. So here's a look at that cold air as it was coming in. Here we are, 2:30 in the afternoon, 69 degrees in Pueblo, temperatures in the 20s in Cheyenne, right up 25. Watch the progression here. We dropped to the 30s in Denver. Right now we're in the teens in Denver, and the cold air coming down to the southeast part of the state where temperatures had actually been in the upper 70s, and still were even just a couple of hours ago there in the Panhandle, but some big changes coming down here with this front. So in Denver, Wow, big differences compared to what we've seen the last couple of days. Temperatures in the teens. There is snow that's ongoing there. There's an upslope component to this. The wind's driving in from the east and right into those mountains. And because of the lift from the mountains, that squeezes out a little more snow. It's not going to be a lot of snow, generally about 1 to 3 inches there, but there will be some. And I'm sure a lot of the folks who like to ski out there are salivating at this time.
I think you're right, Carl. Now let's find out if this cold is going to get old with Paul.
It's going to get old. We're also going to get old. You mentioned the skiers coming out of Denver. We're seeing portions of I-70 closed through the Eisenhower Tunnel, through Overvale Pass because of all that snow right now. So if you're watching us thinking about traveling, you might want to pull it over, perhaps go have a nice little dinner. Maybe you got the game on coming up in a couple of hours. Do something because you will not be traveling west or at some stretches east on I-70 through parts of central Colorado. Meanwhile, in terms of temperatures in the Front Range, by Wednesday, a high of only 12. That's 41 degrees below average here in Denver. And Chicago, we're just above the freezing mark, perhaps the last time for a while. Minneapolis, 23. That's going to seem balmy compared to what's going to happen over the next several days, if not a couple of weeks here as well. By Friday, Minneapolis not even at 20 degrees. Chicago back to 34. And actually, Denver's warmed up to 42 degrees, but the cold air making it into Houston, a high of only 55 on Friday. Sunday, we still have the cold all across Texas as well. Houston only 59 for a high, 48 in Dallas. Nashville, 44 degrees. Chicago now 31. In Minneapolis now, you're at 17 degrees. So we're going to see a long duration cold event here across much of the Great Lakes and the Midwest especially. Look at this. Minneapolis, for the next 10 days on this map, it keeps us below the freezing mark. And in fact, we extend this out to maybe the 25th or 26th. That might be the next time we'll get above 32. So we're talking easily 16 straight days if a 16-day forecast holds out. That's always fraught with peril, but still, the trend is for it to stay cold, and that would be the longest consecutive streak of days below 32 degrees for high temperatures here in Minneapolis. Again, that record goes back to 1880. Kelly?
Wow. You know, another place dealing with snow and rapidly falling temperatures? Rapid City, South Dakota. Right now, 15 degrees. Reynolds Wolf is braving the elements there. We're going to check in with him and check in on that snow right after your local on the 8s.
Currently in our area, 71 degrees under fair skies. Tonight, mainly clear skies. Low 61. Winds west-northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tuesday, generally sunny. High 80. Winds west-northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Tuesday night, a few clouds from time to time. Low 62. Winds northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
When your house loses power, it can be tough for your family. But not if your family has a Kohler generator. Restores power automatically in as little as 10 seconds and is backed by a 5-year limited warranty. Kohler generators. Keep your family flowing.
When the power goes out, you'll go on. Contact your Kohler Generators dealer today.
Raging wind, rampant storm surge, relentless rain. Hurricane season is here, and so is the First Response Team of America. After a busy spring helping tornado victims, they'll swing back into action wherever hurricanes make landfall, saving lives and restoring hope. Follow their pulse-pounding hurricane missions on the Weather Channel and weather.com/responders. Proudly presented by Ram, the official truck of the First Response Team of America.
You're clean.
Bam!
Charmin Ultra Strong cleans so much better it meets even the highest standards of clean. With a soft, DuraClean texture, Charmin Ultra Strong is 4 times stronger, and you can use up to 4 times less.
Charmin Ultra Strong.
You get sick, you can't breathe through your nose. Suddenly, you're a mouth breather. A mouth breather. Well, put on a Breathe Right strip and shut your mouth. Cold medicines open your nose over time, but add a Breathe Right strip and pow, it opens your nose up to 38% more. So you can breathe and do the one thing you want to do. Sleep. Add Breathe Right to your cold medicine, shut your mouth, and sleep right. Breathe Right. And look for the calming scent of new Breathe Right lavender in the sleep aisle.
Check.
Aha. Energizer protects your devices from damaging leaks, guaranteed.
So many gifts to buy at so many stores. Too bad some cashback cards only let you earn bonus cashback at a few places. Then those categories change every few months. Sometimes it's drugstores, then it's hardware stores. Nothing says happy holidays like a shovel. Fortunately, there's the Quicksilver card from Capital One. With Quicksilver, you earn unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase every day. 'Tis the season to ask, what's in your wallet?
If you have high blood pressure like I do, many cold medicines may raise your blood pressure. That's why there's Coricidin HBP. It relieves cold symptoms without raising blood pressure. So look for powerful cold medicine with the heart, Coricidin HBP.
Apples are good. A Strongbow hard cider, better. But Strongbow over ice is the best. Enjoying Strongbow over ice with your slow motion horse, the bestest. Strongbow, world's #1 hard cider.
Well, the snow fell hard in the Black Hills today, and our very own Reynolds Wolf has been there and been enduring it all day long.
He has an update now from Rapid City, South Dakota.
Well, other than a few telltale snowflakes you're going to be seeing moving across the screen, the big story is going to be the cold air that's going to move in. It's going to stay here for much of the week, even into the weekend. Temperatures will rebound in the 20s, but it's a far cry where we should be. Average highs this time of year, mainly some 50s. As you look around the scene, you notice that the snow has come through. I'd say anywhere from 2 to 3, maybe as much as 5, 6, maybe 6 inches of snow in some spots. Really hasn't hampered traffic too badly here. It did hamper the airport, though, where traffic was shut down there. In fact, the airport simply closed until things began to improve. And we're not going to see improvements in terms of the temperatures until we get maybe into the following week. But in terms of sky conditions, we could see some blue skies possibly over the next several days. But the Arctic chill, it's going to be here for a bit. What we're going to be seeing possibly into the early morning hours, single digits or even sub-zero. You factor in the wind, it is going to be absolutely brutal for the great people that call this great city home. Yeah, it's not going to be just here, though. We're going to see the cold air continue to migrate its way across the northern half of the plains, across portions of the Midwest, perhaps even into the central and southern plains. It's certainly going to be a big difference as Mother Nature, Old Man Winter, makes his first visit. Let's send it back to you.
All right, thanks, Reynolds. We're talking about snow and ice and winter storms. You can't leave out travel, whether it's on the ground or in the sky, because we've got big-time concerns. Let's talk about Colorado. I-70 is closed, several stretches of that as you head across the mountains of the west, mainly west of Denver, including the Eisenhower Tunnel. Vail Pass is closed, and even eastbound Avon to Vail has been closed because of the weather.
Be careful out there. Also, check ahead if you're trying to get to the airport, because guess what? We've got a ground stop in effect right now at Denver International. Right now, it's 18 degrees. It's cloudy. We have the snow just off to our south, but we're not really done with the snow quite yet either.
Yeah, and again, this snow is going to stick around as temperatures continue to tumble. So, again, best advice is to clean that driveway, clean the walkway, because it's not going to melt in a couple of days. It might not melt for maybe a week or more.
Yikes.
As we have this first edge of this polar plunge headed our way, and we're going to be chilly. Even the Twin Cities, it might not be until perhaps the day before Thanksgiving that you might see temperatures above freezing again.
An airport delay, because as you saw there, over 3.5 hours, and the snow, it's going to come back at us. You think you're done for now, but you can see more in your future as we go through later tonight into tomorrow before it finally tapers off late in the day Tuesday.
And not just a concern for Wisconsin or Minnesota, but all across the northern plains. Very tricky situation for a lot of drivers out there trying to get around and causing a lot of problems on the roads. Lots of ice and snow still on the roads.
Let's see how it's going in South Dakota right now. Christy Sandel with the South Dakota Department of Transportation joins us now on the phone to talk about what drivers are dealing with. Christy, thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome. Good evening.
How's it looking out there in your state?
It's cold, it's snowy, it's windy, it's winter. So, yeah, it's been a tough day out here in South Dakota. Snow and actually rain and sleet and snow started overnight, and it's been kind of a long day for crews and drivers alike.
And I know you had plenty of experience of this last year, but just personally, how do you feel seeing all this snow, all the cold weather, and it's still only the 10th of November?
You know, I grew up in South Dakota, so it's really not that unusual. It's nice when it waits a little bit longer, but you know, it's South Dakota, and we know it's going to happen, and it's going to get nice. That's what happens here. We get these storms, and then it moves on, and we get a few-week break, and then it comes back again. So.
And Christy, only about 30 seconds left, but I mean, this came in so fast. Did you have any problems with road closures or anything like that in your state?
No, we had no road closures. Our crews were ready. They've been out all day since about 4 this morning. And we've been messaging to drivers to slow down and take it easy, so we have had minimal problems today.
That's great news. Thanks a lot. That is Christy Sandel with the South Dakota Department of Transportation.
Well, glad to hear that things are going relatively smoothly there in South Dakota, but man, this front is really making some progress.
Yeah, again, the cold air coming through, a huge difference a week can make from driving the windows down
to having to deal with this, navigating along snowy, icy roads with our first named winter storm definitely making its presence known.
Up next, we head to the lab with your winter weather update. Stick around.
There's a hot offer for heartburn sufferers. Now try Zantac free at ZantacOffers.com. Hurry, it's free this week only. No pill relieves heartburn faster. Get Zantac free at ZantacOffers.com.
Let's get a head start on the holidays. Let's open something before Christmas. Not that. Those. And of course, a whole lot of these. Let's make merry, along with a few other things. Deck out that. Save all these and spread more of this. That's how to holiday. Let's do this. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. Trade in your old lights and get up to $5 off the latest LEDs.
Everyone sees the same sky. But when we look up, we see something amazing. This fall, you've got to watch the Weather Channel mornings.
It will all start with the weather.
The weather's too important to cover in a few minutes.
It's starting to intensify.
Because it's not just about your forecast.
Look at this.
Listen to that.
See the weather like never before. Amazing starts here. The Weather Channel mornings.
Currently in our area, 71 degrees under fair skies. Tonight, mainly clear skies. Low 61. Winds west-northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tuesday, generally sunny. High 80. Winds west-northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Tuesday night, a few clouds from time to time. Low 62. Winds northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
rolled up in smooth milk chocolate.
All aboard.
Rolo, get your smooth on. There is no car in this accident. Because there was no accident. Volvo's most advanced accident avoidance systems ever. The future of safety from the company that has always brought you the future of safety. Give the gift of Volvo this season, and we'll give you your first month's payment on us.
From residential to commercial, from large loss to emergency response. Whenever damage strikes, call on the cleanup team that's faster to any size disaster at 1-800-SERVPRO, like it never even happened.
Why do you want to get everybody Spring Valley vitamins from Walmart? Because you need him to feel healthy for your big reunion. Because you need to feel the moves, not the ears.
Dance Team Captain 94.
And because you need Grandpa to feel like he has more energy.
Cocoa or eggnog, toasty or frosty, exactly the way you want it. Until boom, it's bedtime. Your mattress is a battleground of thwarted desire. Enter the Sleep Number bed. Right now, save $400 on the C4 mattress set. He's the softie. His Sleep Number setting is 35. You're the rock at 60. Silent night, not so silent? Sleep Number's even got an adjustment for that. Give the gift of amazing sleep, only at a Sleep Number store, where you'll find our lowest price ever on the C4 Clean mattress, plus 36-month financing. No better sleep with Sleep Number.
Hey, Matt, what's up?
Just looking over the company bills.
Is that what we pay for internet?
Yep, DSL's about $90 a month.
That's funny. For that price with Comcast Business, I think you get like 50 megabits.
Wow, that's fast.
Personally, I prefer slow internet. There is something about the sweet, meditative glow of a loading website.
Don't listen to the naysayer. Switch to Comcast Business today and get 50 megabits per second for $89.95. Comcast Business, built for business.
Makes it easy for you to create one. Weebly, let's start something.
The wildest weather ever caught on camera.
Oh my God!
Tonight, tomorrow night, every weeknight, wild weather at 8. Coming up next.
Welcome back for your winter weather update. I'm in the lab now with our storm specialist, Carl Parker, and this has been quite the storm. We can track its somewhat of its origin all the way back here to the Aleutian Islands, actually.
Yeah, you know, this storm really was the bomb. I mean, it was a bomb.
It was a bomb.
And it was the bomb.
A meteorological bomb.
It was a meteorological bomb.
Right.
You know, an incredible storm. Look at the area that is spinning here related to that storm. It's, you know, most of the northern Pacific. It was an incredibly intense storm that was a mixture of a strong low that came out of Asia. And also the typhoon that came up and got involved in it. And there's this huge flow of warm and humid air that's coming up into Alaska and Canada. That's a big part of why we've gotten the cold weather across the U.S. But let's talk about what a bomb is. A bomb is officially a storm in which the pressure drops by 24 millibars in 24 hours.
We saw at least that, right?
Yes, we saw well more than that in this case.
Boy.
So here's a look at what happened Thursday. And again, you had a couple of systems coming together. So here was the one, and then you had the typhoon moving up. The pressure at that point was 990. So we'd only have to drop down into the middle 960s to have a bomb in 24 hours. Let's see what it did in 24 hours. 962 in 12 hours.
Oh, wow.
And then in 24 hours, 931. And the Weather Service estimated the central pressure to be 924. Wow. That's greater than 60 millibars in 24 hours. So not only is this a bomb, I think it could fairly be called a super bomb.
Wow.
We just do not see storms like this very often. And it's such a strong storm, such a large storm, it literally altered the flow of wind and the pressure fields and the temperature fields around it to the point where it probably contributed to the cold that we're getting here in the U.S.
And with high pressure over Alaska, it's probably safe to say it's warmer in Alaska than it is in many places here in the lower 48.
It absolutely is. In fact, we were looking at Anchorage earlier, and it's a good 20 degrees warmer in Anchorage than it is in Rapid City right now. Actually, I think it's closer to 30 degrees warmer in Anchorage right now. So you've got this huge dip in the jet stream like this. This is a highly amplified flow. This is a meridional flow, whereas a zonal flow is more west to east. When you've got a meridional flow, Pueblo, you see these really dramatic north-south movements of the jet stream that's related to the temperature profile. So you got this huge intrusion of warm air in Alaska, in western Canada, and that helped to bump the cold air southward and down into the U.S. Not that it wouldn't have happened otherwise. It probably would have, but it amplified the whole pattern and probably made it a little stronger than it would have been otherwise. So you've got below average temperatures that are likely to be in place across the eastern 2/3 of the country right through the weekend. It's not going to move very much at all. High temperatures in Minneapolis, St. Paul are going to be around freezing or lower right through next weekend.
All right, winter arriving early for a lot of folks, I guess. I mean, I know we typically get snow in the high country of Colorado, but boy, I know the saying in Denver is wait 5 minutes or go 5 miles. Your weather will change pretty quickly.
Nowhere is that more true than the high plains, the central plains of the U.S. I mean, everybody says that, but it's really, really true here. It literally, we had some locations where we went from the 70s down into the, I believe, the 30s in the space of about 4 hours. Wow. That is incredible. And so Denver earlier today, temperatures were in the 60s, Pueblo in the upper 60s. Now you've got snow coming down there, lingering snow, not a lot of it. Got a break from the snow in Minneapolis. It's lifting up, but there's more off to the west. There's more upper level energy that has yet to come through, so we'll see lingering snow showers tonight and early tomorrow. There's a look at what happened, and 16.5 northwest of the Twin Cities, but a very sharp gradient. As you can see, we didn't get much at all on the south side.
There was a little mixing in of sleet and rain down there,
that was probably part of why there were so many accidents today. A good 400 car crashes, and many more people spun out. And there's the ongoing snow across the UP of Michigan into Lake Superior. It's going to go on here for a long time, so here's the model forecast. We'll take you through tonight and show you that snow lingering into the overnight hours. It's going to be tapering off tomorrow morning in the Twin Cities. More snow through the morning in the UP and Wisconsin, and then even into the afternoon in those areas. And because it's going to go on for a long time, that's why we're talking about going forward more than a foot of snow there up into, say, Ironwood there in the northern part of the UP and northern Wisconsin, but not a lot of snow elsewhere, as you can see. Maybe another inch or two in the Twin Cities, and maybe just a few inches here into parts of Colorado and also into Wyoming. So the most of the action is going to be there in Wisconsin and also the UP.
And that snowpack helping to really refrigerate the air above it, too.
That's right. It can make it a lot colder in the future. That's true.
All right, Carl, thanks so much. Paul, back over to you.
Thanks, Kelly. Thanks, Carl. We have one more thing to tell you about tonight. It's coming up right after your local on the 8th. But right now, take a look at a shot from Minneapolis where the snow is starting to taper off, but the cold air, oh, that is just beginning. Freezing? Well, we might not see the 32-degree mark until 2.5 weeks from now.
Currently in our area, 71 degrees under fair skies. Tonight, mainly clear skies. Low 61. Winds west-northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tuesday, generally sunny. High 80. Winds west-northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Tuesday night, a few clouds from time to time. Low 62. Winds northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
One more look at the snow and the cold. This is where it's snowing right now in big time. This will be one of the big winners as far as the snowfall goes. The Upper Peninsula here, and then we move over into Wisconsin. Seeing some of that rain or snow, not as much snow as we were seeing earlier in Duluth. Starting to see that shrink down a little bit. Oh man, look at this. Additional snowfall through tomorrow afternoon in some places. The Upper Peninsula, 1.5 to 2 feet. A possibility. Around Denver, dealing with some of that snow, Interstate 70 has been closed because of traffic issues, some accidents there. And we're seeing some of the heavier snow now moving off on the eastern side of Denver along Interstate 70. And here comes the cold, that polar air invasion. We're going to watch temperatures plummet in the coming days. Now, this isn't the strangest weather on Earth. That is coming up next.
Heavy rain triggers monster sinkholes.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe that.
Freak weather mysteriously kills thousands of fish.
Dead fish, dead fish, dead fish, dead fish.
Trees falling everywhere.
Terrifying winds come out of nowhere.
As if the end of the world is just heading towards you. It looks that scary.
And rain the color of blood.
People who witnessed it were frightened. They didn't really know what was happening.
Welcome to the wild world of weather, where you'll see nature go nuts. Extraordinary events stranger than anything Hollywood can dream up. We discover how and why these crazy conditions happen. You won't believe your eyes. This is the strangest weather on Earth. Bowling Green, Kentucky, February 12th, 2014. 8 vintage vehicles are safely parked where no harm can come to them. Or so you would hope. The earth opens up suddenly and devours these cars in an instant. Shockingly, the damage isn't caused by an earthquake. This phenomenon is another kind of monster altogether. A sinkhole. What makes them so deadly is that they're completely unpredictable. They can happen anytime. But they are caused by one consistent factor: the weather. Florida is the sinkhole capital of the world. Here in the Orange State, they result in over 6,000 insurance claims per year. More sinkholes occur here than anywhere else in the United States, opening up huge craters in the backyards of family homes and sending whole holiday resorts into the depths.
Hey, Dad, here's your timeshare.
One sinkhole appears under a home and tragically sucks in a man while he sleeps. His body is never recovered. But what exactly makes Florida such a sinkhole hotspot? The answer lies in the bedrock, as Randy Cervini from Arizona State University explains.
Florida, being a limestone-dominant landscape, they have this ability to have the limestone eroded away by the waters from hurricanes and tropical storms.
It seems Florida is allergic to its own weather. Rainwater becomes acidic as it travels through the air and soil. It eats through the limestone like a hot knife through butter. Alan Lester from the University of Colorado Boulder knows it's a simple matter of chemistry.
Sinkholes are fundamentally a result of the interaction between slightly acidic groundwater and limestone in the subsurface. The acidic groundwater is dissolving the limestone and forming caverns. Those caverns eventually get big enough and enough material over them that they collapse. And it sometimes occurs rather catastrophically, such that the surface lakes or buildings or structures get swallowed up in a matter of seconds.
Some scientists believe pollution could increase global sinkhole activity.
As rainfall becomes more acidic as a result of atmospheric contaminants, so does the groundwater. Increased acidity of groundwater will increase the rate of cavern production and potentially impact the frequency of these sinkhole events.
Karen Kosiba from the Center for Severe Weather Research shows us how acidic rainwater creates these chasms.
So what we're doing here is